Many people spend their lives asking the same question whenever something unexpected happens. They wonder why life brings them certain events while others seem to live without struggle. When good fortune arrives, people celebrate and believe they have full control over their success. But when difficulties appear, they quickly assume that life has become unfair. What most people forget is that the meaning of events cannot always be understood immediately. Something that appears to be a disaster today may turn into a blessing tomorrow, and something that looks like a blessing today may later reveal hidden problems. Time has a way of uncovering truths that we cannot see in the present moment. The story you are about to hear is about a man who understood this lesson better than most people around him. In a quiet valley surrounded by rolling hills and tall trees, there was a small farming village where life moved slowly and peacefully. The villagers lived simple lives, working in the fields during the day and gathering together in the evenings to share stories and laughter. Among those villagers lived a man named Yusuf. Yusuf was neither rich nor powerful. In fact, he lived a very modest life. His small house stood at the edge of the village beside a narrow dirt road. Behind the house stretched a patch of farmland that he cultivated every season. Despite his financial struggles, Yusuf was known throughout the village for one remarkable quality. He rarely complained about anything. Whether the harvest was good or bad, whether the weather was pleasant or harsh, Yusuf accepted life with calm patience. He believed that worrying too much about events would not change them. Yusuf lived with his teenage daughter, Laila, who helped him manage the farm. Together, they worked long hours planting vegetables, watering crops, and caring for the animals they owned. Among those animals was a beautiful brown mare named Luna. Luna was not an ordinary horse. She was fast, strong, and incredibly loyal. She helped Yusuf plow the land, carry heavy loads, and travel long distances when necessary. To Yusuf and Laila, Luna was more than just an animal. She was a trusted companion. One autumn afternoon, a wealthy merchant from a nearby city visited the village. His name was Victor, and he had come to buy livestock for his trading business. As he walked through the village, he noticed Luna grazing peacefully in Yusuf's field. The merchant was immediately impressed by the horse's strength and graceful appearance. Curious, he approached Yusuf and offered to buy Luna for a very large amount of money. For a moment, the villagers who were nearby held their breath. The amount offered was more money than Yusuf could earn in several years. Many people whispered that this was a rare opportunity that Yusuf should not refuse. But Yusuf simply smiled politely and shook his head. He thanked the merchant for the offer, but explained that Luna was not for sale. The merchant was surprised by the refusal. He tried increasing the offer, promising even more money. Still, Yusuf declined. Eventually, the merchant left, shaking his head in disbelief. As soon as he was gone, the villagers gathered around Yusuf. Some laughed at him while others criticized his decision. They said he was foolish to reject such a generous offer when he clearly needed money. Yusuf listened quietly and responded calmly that not everything valuable could be measured by money. A few days later, something unexpected happened. Early one morning, when Laila went to the stable to feed Luna, she discovered that the horse was missing. The stable gate had been left open, and Luna had disappeared into the surrounding hills. Yusuf and Laila spent the entire day searching through fields and forest paths, calling the horse's name, but there was no sign of her anywhere. When the villagers heard the news, they gathered again to discuss the situation. Some people said Yusuf had brought this misfortune upon himself by refusing the merchant's offer. Others suggested that thieves might have stolen the horse during the night. Laila felt deeply upset. She asked her father how he could remain calm when they had just lost something so important. Yusuf gently replied that it was too early to decide whether the event was good or bad. Laila struggled to understand his words. To her, losing Luna clearly felt like a terrible loss. But Yusuf continued his daily work as if nothing unusual had happened. About a week later, something astonishing occurred. One morning, as Yusuf walked toward the field, he heard the sound of hooves approaching from the nearby hills. When he looked up, he saw Luna running down the path toward the farm. But she was not alone. Behind her followed 4 wild horses that had apparently joined her while she was away. The horses ran freely across the field, strong and energetic. When the villagers saw this incredible sight, their opinions changed immediately. They began praising Yusuf's good fortune. Some said that his patience had been rewarded by destiny. Others called him the luckiest man in the village. But once again, Yusuf reacted calmly. He simply said that the horse had returned and brought new companions. He did not celebrate or boast about the situation. Meanwhile, Laila became excited about the new horses. She began spending her days trying to train them. She believed that if she could tame them properly, they could help expand the farm's work and improve their lives. But working with wild animals can be dangerous. One afternoon, while attempting to ride one of the horses, Laila lost control and fell heavily to the ground. The fall injured her arm badly. The village doctor examined her and confirmed that her arm was fractured. For several weeks, she would not be able to work. Once again, the villagers gathered to discuss what had happened. This time they spoke with sympathy, saying that the wild horses had brought trouble instead of blessing. They suggested that if Luna had never returned with the other horses, the accident would not have happened. Laila felt discouraged and asked her father whether this situation was finally something truly bad. Yusuf responded with the same calm expression he always carried. He said that it was still too early to judge the meaning of events. Several days later, news arrived that shocked the entire region. A conflict had broken out between neighboring territories, and the government began recruiting young villagers to serve in the army. Officials traveled from village to village selecting strong young people who could fight. Families watched anxiously as their sons and daughters were taken away for training. But when the officials reached Yusuf's house, they noticed Laila's injured arm. Because of the injury, she was not considered fit to join the military. The officials moved on to other houses. Many young villagers were taken away that week. Sadly, months later, reports arrived that several soldiers from the region had lost their lives during the conflict. Grief spread across the village. Families mourned their loved ones who would never return home. During that difficult time, several villagers visited Yusuf and spoke about how fortunate Laila had been. If she had not injured her arm, she might have been taken away like the others. As Yusuf listened to them, he gently reminded Laila of the lesson he had been trying to teach her all along. Events in life cannot always be judged immediately. What appears to be loss may later reveal hidden benefit. What appears to be good fortune may carry unexpected difficulties. Only time has the power to reveal the true meaning behind events. From that day forward, Laila began to see life differently. Whenever something surprising happened, she remembered her father's calm wisdom. She learned not to become too proud during moments of success and not to lose hope during moments of hardship. Years passed, and the small farm continued to grow. Luna and the other horses became an important part of the farm's work, helping Yusuf and Laila cultivate larger fields than before. But more valuable than the horses or the harvest was the lesson that had shaped their understanding of life. Life moves in cycles of joy and challenge, gain and loss, success and difficulty. If we react too strongly to every event, we may lose our balance. But if we learn patience and trust that time will reveal the bigger picture, we can face every situation with calm strength. The truth is that no moment lasts forever. Happiness and sadness both pass like changing seasons. And sometimes the greatest wisdom in life is simply learning to wait. Observe and trust that every event carries a meaning that may only become clear with time.